Good morning and namaskar. Welcome to your satisfying Saturday. Let me make a little adjustment here. So, people ask me all the time, what can I do to make myself feel better? We could go in and we could do a personal session. I've got my abuse recovery method started here, and I'm working on releasing a full-blown version of it soon. However, there are many different techniques, but let's look at where things come from. So, the shadow is all of the parts of us that we don't want to admit to. Whether that be we don't want to admit that we're a star at something, or we're very good at something, or something that we don't want to admit we're capable of. And every little bit of DNA that ever existed, does exist, or ever will exist as a human being carries the potential for every human action. Think about that. Every single strand of DNA that has ever existed, does exist, or will ever exist carries every potential. Now, that doesn't mean that the person the DNA is able to perform those things, such as mendicants or retarded people, whatever, special needs people, whatever you want to call them. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. Those disowned part of us, those parts of us that we don't want to admit are there, the murderer, the hater, the raper, the pissed off boss person, whoever, they're still there, whether we want to admit to them or not, whether we have conscious control over them or not. Just as much as the great singer, the great actor, the great doctor, or whoever, the successful person. So what we do in our shadow is a very important part of what I do through my hypnotherapy, or hypno-coaching, if you will, is to be able to look into that shadow realm, to be able to look into that dark realm, to bring those pieces up, to look at them, to unlock the emotion that's attached to it and say, okay, I realize this propensity is within me, and I will consciously work to control it. So the shadow can actually take over in a flash. Think about it this way. When was the last time somebody came in to a situation you were involved in, caused a disruption, and you blew up? Whether it be a child, a spouse, you're at work, and a fellow employee, whatever situation was. Think about that situation. Were you in control? Or was the shadow in control? The subconscious belief system. That person's causing me harm in some way, or that person is causing a destruction of the situation I want it to be. And so you allowed them to take your emotions hostage, and you stomped all over everybody. Or maybe you did it in a very happy way, where your exuberance overshadowed everybody. So when we're looking at different things, we have to look at our subconscious belief systems, because they do have circumstances. And they have consequences. What is the circumstance this started in? What is the circumstance, the trigger that causes me to act in this way? And what is the consequence of this? Is it a feeling of not enoughness in me that causes me to be this way? Is it a feeling of I'm being challenged and I have to overcome the challenge? Is it a feeling of that person's taking something from me, or that person is not giving something to me? And we have to look at these things very carefully. We have to think about the circumstances that are there. We have to think about the consequences of those circumstances. Now, while we cannot be held responsible for everyone else's emotional content or everyone else's emotional response or reaction, we do have to be responsible for what we're putting out. And that can be quite difficult, especially if our subconscious belief systems still are fighting with us, if our shadow is still holding us back. So what will we do? Well, there are many different methods. The mind learns by repetition. The easiest one is to use hypnosis, to go down in and do brain surgery with lasers. Find the belief system, change the belief system, and then live from that point. But no matter what we repeat to ourselves, if we say the words I am, after that, it's pure creation. And anytime we're talking in the I am situation, whether it be I am not, I could, I couldn't, I do, I don't, those things, the subconscious is looking to believe those things and to bring them into reality in one form or another. So what is it about those things that we can change consciously to convince our subconscious to work? Well, my one method that I love that's finally working for me is I love myself, I am enough, and I am free. And it works. It does work. It's taken a long time. You don't take a ship that's stuck at full speed and get it to turn immediately backwards unless it's the Millennium Falcon. It takes a while for that ship to be able to turn and then come back the other way. And it's got to go back the distance it's traveled before it can go past it. So it does take some time. We can immediately change a belief system that's causing someone to be overweight because of overeating and feeling that they need to fill themselves up, and if I were bigger, the big ones couldn't hurt me. But it's still going to take time for that weight to rearrange. It's still going to take time for a habit to change. So one thing we can ask is a question: what would it take to have whatever in my life? What would it take for me to have $100,000 a year? And just keep asking that question. And that triggers the subconscious mind to start looking for ways in which to make that $100,000 a year. What would it take for me to stop smoking? Ask yourself these questions 10, 15, 20, 30 times a day. Just as the same as putting those little notes up everywhere that says, I am enough. Put up little notes to say, what would it take? What would it take for me to have $100,000 a year? Which nowadays, of course, after taxes isn't that much money, especially with inflation. But you get the point. The target is whatever you make it. And the question that often people overlook is, who do I have to become in order for these things to happen for me? And that's a process in and of itself. Because we set our goals. Some of them we set we know we're going to achieve. Some of them we set we don't know whether we'll ever achieve them. I have some goals that have a 1% chance of success. Why do I still work on it? Because of who I'm becoming in the process. What would it take for this to be my eventual outcome? What is the process going to lead me to? What synchronicities are going to come through? What do I get to let go of in the process of getting to this place? What am I going to see? Who am I going to meet? So ask these things consistently, constantly, over and over and over again. What would it take for me to feel enough? What would it take for me to feel enough? What would it take for me to feel enough? Ask it in different ways. Eventually your subconscious is going to realize, oh, this isn't just something this person's saying. This is something this person is truly wanting. So what do I have to rearrange in order to let this happen? One of them that I really like comes from, it's not Emile Coué. I can't remember his name at the moment. He was an incredible French mesmerist. And he watched soldiers in World War I who are having serious problems. I mean, World War I was intense. You're talking about months-long war battles, months-long battles, involving, in some cases, up to 15 million men on both sides. and they're in these trenches and they're fighting in all kinds of weather, and it's just a horrible, constant deluge and barrage of hate. And when they're wounded, they come back and they're not getting better because they have shell shock, or what we call today post-traumatic stress disorder. And so he said, well, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Now, I've changed it. I like the power of 3 to every day in every way, I'm getting better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. And in that way, I will sit there and I'll say, better, better, and better. I often find my times just squeezing my fingers, and my fingers, when I squeeze them, know better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. Every day in every way, my life is getting better, better, and better. Every day in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Every day in every way, my body is getting better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. Just keep building on that. It just keeps expanding. Just like our heart keeps expanding once it's free. Laugh. Laugh. Oh, hello, son. Looks like you're going to get interesting, so we're going to adjust you a little bit. Well, that's not much better, is it? Okay. How about I just sit in front of the sun? So, laugh. Laugh hard. Laugh long. Make yourself laugh. Did you know that if you smile just simply for 15 seconds, your brain starts to automatically release feel-good chemicals? Did you know that? Just smiling. You don't have to have a reason to smile, but it's going to make you feel good. Smile and the world smiles with you. And if they don't, laugh at them. Laughter is the best medicine. Emil Quay cured himself of ankylosing syndrome by locking himself in a hotel room for, I believe it was a month. It might have been 6 months. And he overdosed on vitamin C, and he watched every comedy he could find, every comedy he could get his hands on. He just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. Wow. Also, can you imagine how much that did for his abs and his cardio? So, just laughter. Again, I love myself. I am enough. I am free. What an incredible way to live. I love myself. I don't require someone else to love me. I don't require someone else to like me. I don't require someone else to be anything for me. I just require myself to be in love with myself. And like I tell any lady nowadays, you want to swing on it, put a ring on it. I'm not falling in bed face first anymore. I'm only rising in love. Forgive me for the outside noise. The air conditioner's broken. It's over 80 degrees inside. Well, I've got a comfortable breeze out here, so thank you for dealing with that. And the sun. So just laugh. Ha 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 ha. Make yourself laugh. Even if there's no reason. Fake it. Fake it. And then eventually you're going to start laughing at yourself because it's so silly, because you made yourself start laughing. And it's hilarious. Believe me, you can get to the point of hilarity where you've got a head rush going on better than any buzz you'll ever get from any drug. It's amazing what our brain can do when we allow it to. It really, truly is. Another good way to do things and to help stir up things and to let things go is what Elisa Nichols calls mirror work. And that's where you stand in front of the mirror, you get through brushing your teeth, I am enough, I love myself, I am free. And then you look yourself in the eye. And I look myself in the eye and I say, Hawk, I'm proud of you for getting out of bed today. Hawk, I'm proud of you for making a video today. Hawk, I'm proud of you for helping people you'll never even meet today. Hawk, I'm proud of you for changing your underwear today. Hawk, I'm proud of you for loving yourself today. Hawk, I'm proud of you for being proud of yourself today. Give yourself 7 reasons and make sure you use your name, looking yourself in the eye. Look right in your own eye. Then, the next step is 7 things to forgive yourself for. Hawk, I forgive you for not learning these things sooner. Hawk, I forgive you for not being a better person sooner. Hawk, I forgive you for not drinking sooner. Hawk, I forgive you for whatever. 7 things. Make sure each one of them has 7. And the third one, Hawk, I commit to you that we're going to keep making videos every day. Hawk, I commit to you that we're going to keep helping people around the world that we'll never meet every single day. Hawk, I commit to you that we're going to keep eating healthy. Hawk, I commit to you that we're going to keep loving ourselves. 7 things. This mirror work, I'll tell you, I've only been using it for a few months and it helps. And no matter where you are, you can look in your car mirror. You can go do it in the bathroom at work if you need a pickup. But you can always sit there and quietly go, I am enough. I love myself. I am free. Even quietly. And when you pull your hands away, feel yourself pulling out and shattering those chains, those heavy emotional chains of your traumatic past. Just bring them out and shatter them. Visualize them pulling out of your heart and freeing your heart. Helpful Hawk healing, freeing human hearts. Free. Love yourself. You are worth it. And that's one thing that this world teaches us, is to hate ourselves. You're not enough. You need this pill. You're not enough. You need this. You need this. You need this. You need this. Hey, you need this. Well, no, you don't. Do you need more stuff? Is the stuff making you happy? Or you go buy this thing you've been waiting for. Maybe you put it on a payment system until you could get it or whatever, and then you get it and it's not exactly what you thought. And same thing with a person. You meet them, you think they're the greatest thing ever. And then after a while you're like, hold on, this person's not the greatest thing ever. Hey, that happens to everybody. But I'll tell you a little secret. The person that has to be the best person in your life, the person that has to treat you the best in your life, the person that has to love you the most in your life is you. You. All the great gurus say the same thing. Remember, somebody made you. Remember to love you as a part of that somebody, because you're that somebody's thought. Remember to love everybody else as if they're a part of you, because since you're a part of that great somebody's thought, those other people are a part of you in some way. As Jesus put it, treat others as you want to be treated. Love others as you want to be loved. It's not God, country, others, self. It's God, self, others. And then if you want to give your love to your country, okay. That's your decision. I don't like or dislike the United States. I don't approve of the way it's being led right now, no matter what. It doesn't make any difference. I'm not into politics anyway. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, Dorothy. It doesn't make any difference. Whether you had all the money in the world, your happiness is your decision. Your love is your decision. Your embodiment of whom you are is your decision. And the wounds you carry with you are your decision. And trust me when I say that I have difficulty every day with those running, racing, repetitive, hamster wheel thoughts of this person did this to me. This person could do this to me. Every single day. And when I catch myself, I say, I love myself, I am enough, I am free. What would it take to be through with this particular thought system? What would it take for me to not think this way ever again? At least about this person, if maybe not completely in my life. Because there isn't a one-size-fits-all one-time healing. There's a one-size-fits-all however many times it takes to heal. Love yourself, and you are enough. If you weren't enough, you wouldn't have been allowed to pick up a human body, because you are an infinite spiritual being using a human body. You're not a body who has a soul, you're a soul who's using a body. And if you weren't enough, you wouldn't be allowed to use the body in the first place. So, how do you treat your body? It's the temple, the vessel, your earth rover, it's your experiencer. How are you treating it? I'm working to treat mine better, better, better every day. Better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. Every single day. Every single moment of every single day. Yes, we're given a finite number of moments. How many of them do you want to spend worrying? How many of them do you want to spend plotting vengeance? How many of them do you want to spend holding other people responsible for how you're deciding to feel and allowing them to hold you emotionally hostage in that way? How many moments do you want to spend drinking poison, expecting the other person to die? I wonder why you don't feel better. Yeah, because that's what those vengeful thoughts do. It's like drinking strychnine, expecting the other person to die and wondering why you're feeling bad. Also, what you say about yourself. There's this common thing about self-effacement. Well, I don't want to look too big for my britches. Well, if you don't want to look too big for your britches, buy pants that fit. I mean, that's that simple. When someone asks me something and I'm confident in that area, I'm not going to put myself down. When it comes to hypnotherapy and trauma recovery, I'm going to build myself up in front of them. Yes, I'm very good at this. I'm incredible at this. I'm incredible at being able to find where it is in a person's psyche and help them get rid of it, simply by asking questions in the right way, especially when a person's in trance. I'm very good at it. I'm very good as a musician, especially with my guitar. I'm an incredible writer. I'm not going to put myself down in these areas because I have read incredible authors and I have read my own stories, and sometimes I still go back and read my own stories and I go, wow, I wrote that. There's nothing wrong with that. Saying I have a horrible memory or I can't remember anything, something like that, putting yourself down in any way, that should become disallowed in your life. In any way. Self-effacement might look good to the masses, but it's a load of crap. Always build yourself up. Now, you don't have to go over the top and be arrogant about it. You don't have to say, I'm the best that ever is. Well, you know what? Muhammad Ali did that. Look how he ended up. He went out and got his head beat to such a pulp that at the end of his life, who was he? He didn't even know he was there. He got to be the greatest boxer of all time for a while until somebody else came along. So I know I'm not the greatest, I'm just the greatest me. And me being the greatest me, well, maybe helps you become the greatest you. I hope so. I pray so. And I meditate every day that it be so. I have comments come in from all over the world. It's an incredible thing to have someone from the middle of Africa say, thank you, I really needed to hear this today. Wow. I don't know where they even are. But they said, thank you. I really needed to hear this today. That doesn't make me feel big. That makes me feel enormous. But at the same time, it also makes me feel about that tall. Very humble. That my words can reach through here and touch in such a way as to say, hey, look, brother, look, sister, I'm going through it too. And I have some methods that can help you. Here on YouTube, I have the abuse recovery method. And like I said earlier, I'm working on making a more extensive program. But it can help you today. Lay back for 30 minutes. Listen to it. Let something go. Change your story. If you're afraid to change who you are, your life is not going to change. If you don't change who you are, your life won't change. And I know people in my personal life that I love dearly, but they're not going to change because they don't want to change who they are. Oh, they want to drop the weight. They're not willing to do the exercise and change the diet. They want to stop using the drugs, but they're afraid of feeling bad. Well, yeah. I'm not really into feeling bad either, but it's part of the human experience. It's part of human existence. It's part of life. Not everything feels good. But once that feeling bad is over, wow. I used to wake up hating myself. Now I wake up loving myself. What an incredible way to be. Now I don't wake up every morning with, hey, I'm ready to go. But I do wake up with, I love myself, I am enough, I am free. Thank you for waking me up. Gratitude is an important and very powerful tool. And you have to thank the universe, the quantum field, for what it's already given you before you can see it happen in your hands. That's an amazing place. It's incredible to be able to live through gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet, knowing that it will happen in some way. And it may not be the way you're expecting or wanting, but it will happen. It's not the easiest thing in the world. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah, well, I've known a few old dogs and I've been able to teach them new tricks. And this old hawk right here, who has wolf spirit as a heavy totem, has learned new tricks and looks for new ones every day. Every single day I look for something new to learn anyway. I look for a belief system within myself to let go of in order to get out of my own way. A millimeter a mile, progress every day. What would it take for me to get to the point where I am enlightened? The reason I haven't sat and asked myself that over and over and over and over and over yet is because my ego isn't ready for that change. I admit it. I'm not ready for enlightenment yet. Yet, the key of possibility that opens the door of probability. One of these days I will be. One of these days I'll be ready for full enlightenment. Not yet. There's some things I want to do first. My ego still holds on to me a bit, and that's okay. It's the process. It's not the destination, it's the journey. If the only thing you ever look at is the destination and you're too busy getting from this city to this city, well, you miss all the scenery in between. Maybe stopping at that gas station would have been an important thing because you might have met the love of your life. But now, they're going north, you're going south. Instead of driving, you flew. Always look at what is the possibility of the process that's going to take me to where I'm wanting to go. And is where I'm wanting to go where I want to be? And who do I have to become to get there? Because you have to become a different person in order to get there. And you're changing anyway. You can't avoid change. Your body's constantly changing. What is it, every 7 to 10 years, you've got a completely new set of cells? You're not even the same person you were 2 years ago. Because millions and billions of cells die daily, and millions and billions of cells are made daily. Your brain isn't even the same. So, I keep holding on to those thought patterns. That's what I keep asking myself. Why am I holding on to this thought pattern? What would it take for me to let go of this thought pattern about this person or about this situation? What would it take for me to change the belief behind it? What would it take? And it's not going to be overnight. Believe me. I had a spiritual awakening in 2012. It wasn't until 2018 that I experienced the first true dark night of the soul. And I'm just now coming out of the end of another one. They're frustrating. It's like, boom, hey, Scorpio, go again, go again, go again. But you know what? I'm sitting here talking to you. A year ago, I wasn't. Think about that. A year ago, I was not sitting talking to anybody about who I am or what I've been going through or how I could help them. There was no way I could have done this a year ago. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Remember, I love myself. I am enough. I am free. And I love you too. Love yourself. You are worth it. Have a blessed and safe day.